August 1985. A warm evening settled over Japan, promising a peaceful night for many. For hundreds, it began as a routine domestic flight, an ordinary journey across Japan's skies. But that ordinary flight was destined to become the deadliest single aircraft disaster ever recorded. This unimaginable tragedy would forever scar aviation history, rewriting the books on air safety. In just 32 agonizing minutes, terror would grip a Boeing 747 high above the Pacific. The majestic Boeing 747, a symbol of modern air travel, soared unaware of its fate. Inside, families, children, and business travelers embarked, their lives intertwined for a brief journey. Experienced crew members dedicated to safety prepared for another standard flight duty. Unbeknownst to them, they would soon descend into an unimaginable tragedy, a desperate fight for survival. The ensuing catastrophe stunned a nation, leaving an indelible mark on Japan's collective memory. It shattered the global aviation world, forcing a reevaluation of every safety protocol imagined. A horrifying chain of failures, previously deemed impossible, was brutally exposed to the world. This complex cascade of errors was something no one in the industry believed could ever happen. This is the haunting, true story of Japan Airlines Flight 123, a flight forever etched in history. What should have been an hour-long flight became a desperate struggle inside a crippled aircraft. A story of heroism, human error, and the incredibly fragile boundary between life and loss. On August 12, 1985, Japan stood at the cusp of a summer holiday, a time for joy. From Tokyo's Haneda Airport, countless flights departed, carrying dreams across the archipelago. Among them, Japan Airlines Flight 123 prepared for a routine domestic journey. Its destination, Osaka, a familiar route, traveled safely thousands of times before. Boarding began like any other flight, a seamless part of daily life in Japan. Families returned from holiday, eager for home. Others embarked on new adventures. Luggage, dreams, and unsuspecting lives were meticulously loaded into the giant jet. This was J8119, a Boeing 747 SR-46, a marvel of modern aviation technology. The SR designation meant short range, optimized for Japan's high-density domestic routes. Meticulously maintained, it was considered one of the safest aircraft aloft. Inside, the spacious cabin was ready for its passengers, promising comfort and speed. The 747, a symbol of strength and reliability, known worldwide as the Queen of the Skies. For those on board, it represented a swift, uneventful passage home or to holiday. This particular jumbo jet had faithfully served Japan Airlines for many years. It was a workhorse, trusted and depended upon by thousands of daily travelers. A diverse tapestry of human lives filled the cabin that fateful afternoon. Young and old, families and individuals, all sharing this metal tube in the sky. Executives, tourists, students, a cross-section of society aboard Flight 123. Each person held a unique story, a web of connections, a future awaiting them. They were returning from holidays, visiting loved ones, or heading to work. 524 souls entrusted their lives to this magnificent machine, unaware of destiny. For many, it was merely the conclusion of a joyful summer, a journey home. Dreams of reunion, of comfort, of familiar surroundings filled their thoughts. A routine flight, like countless others before, promising safe passage to Osaka. A microcosm of a nation, soaring through the sky, unaware of the impending doom. Up front, a highly experienced crew commanded the mighty Boeing 747. Captain Masami Takahama, a veteran with over 12,000 hours flight time. His calm demeanor and vast experience were a testament to his expertise. First Officer Yutaka Sasaki, equally skilled, diligently assisted the captain. Flight Engineer Hiroshi Fukuda, responsible for the complex systems, was vigilant. This was a team forged in experience, among the very best in the industry. Their professionalism, their competence, instilled absolute trust in every passenger. Yet beneath the polished exterior, a silent threat lurked, unseen by all. A catastrophic structural weakness, a deadly flaw, lay deep within the aircraft. It was a ticking time bomb, the result of a faulty repair years earlier. 7 years before, in 1978, the aircraft suffered a tail strike upon landing. The resulting damage to the tail section required extensive and precise repairs. Boeing technicians performed the repair, but crucially, it was done incorrectly. Instead of a single, reinforcing plate, 2 were used, critically weakening the structure. This hidden flaw, a structural compromise, slowly propagated with every single flight. Each pressurization cycle strained the compromised bulkhead, increasing the danger. For 7 years, this invisible wound deepened, nearing its catastrophic breaking point. None of the 524 souls on board, nor the experienced crew, knew the truth. A hidden defect, patiently waiting its moment to unleash unimaginable devastation. Japan Airlines Flight 123, a routine journey, about to become the deadliest in history. Haneda Airport, August 12, 1985. Japan Airlines Flight 123 prepared for departure, a routine journey. This iconic Boeing 747, destined for Osaka, carried 524 souls. A routine domestic flight. Families, business travelers, holiday makers, unaware of the unfolding catastrophe awaiting their journey. Captain Masami Takahama, a seasoned pilot, led the flight crew, diligently preparing for takeoff. With clearance granted, JL-123 moved gracefully, a metal giant poised for its ascent into the sky. The powerful engines screamed to life, propelling the colossal jet down the tarmac, gathering incredible speed. JL-123 lifted off, climbing steadily, a beacon of modern aviation against the fading light. 12 minutes into its flight, the aircraft reached its cruising altitude, a mere 24,000 feet. Inside the cabin, a sense of calm prevailed. Passengers settled in for their short journey. Service had begun. The hum of the engines was the only rhythm of this otherwise tranquil flight. The cockpit crew maintained vigilance, scanning the myriad of instruments, ensuring flight stability. Then, without warning, a deafening roar tore through the aircraft, followed by a violent jolt. An explosive decompression ripped through the tail section, a catastrophic rupture at 24,000 feet. The cockpit plunged into chaos. Alarms blared as the aircraft bucked wildly, a crippled giant. The immense force tore away the vertical stabilizer, the tail fin crucial for directional control. Simultaneously, all 4 hydraulic systems, vital for flight control, were completely severed. JL-123 became a hulking, unguided missile, its aerodynamic integrity catastrophically compromised. Cabin pressure plummeted. Oxygen masks dropped instantly, a chilling symbol of the disaster unfolding. In the cockpit, the crew battled an aircraft that refused to respond, its controls rendered useless. Without hydraulics, the control surfaces became dead weight, unresponsive to any pilot input. Captain Takahama attempted contact, his voice urgent, conveying the unimaginable crisis to air traffic control. Japan Air 123, we have an emergency, echoed across the frantic air traffic control tower. On radar screens, JL-123's track became erratic, deviating wildly from its planned trajectory. Every instrument screamed warnings. The crew faced a fight for survival against an impossible adversary. Despite the sheer terror, the flight crew remained resolute, refusing to surrender their aircraft. The massive 747 pitched and rolled violently, a helpless leaf caught in an unseen, brutal storm. The explosive decompression had torn a massive hole in the rear pressure bulkhead, compounding the damage. Warning lights illuminated every panel, a horrifying symphony of impending doom in the cockpit. Uncontrollable, the suddenness of the event left no time for preparation, only raw, desperate instinct. High above the tranquil Japanese landscape, a single aircraft fought for its very existence. Every maneuver, every desperate attempt to regain control, met only with agonizing silence. JL-123 was now a crippled giant, 12 minutes from takeoff, battling a fate it could not escape. In the heart of chaos, an ordinary flight became an extraordinary battle for survival. 32 minutes. That was the window they had, trapped within an uncontrollable, wounded giant. This wasn't just a malfunction. It was a desperate, unprecedented fight against gravity itself. The primary controls were dead. The crew faced a chilling reality. Their aircraft was a rogue beast. Hydraulic failure had rendered the Boeing 747's control surfaces utterly useless in midair. A silent understanding passed between them. Every established procedure was now obsolete, futile. Then came the phugoid motion, a violent oscillation that threatened to rip the jet apart. The massive tail fin, critical for stability, was gone. The aircraft's aerodynamic integrity vanished. Unseen by passengers, the flight deck became a scene of raw, primal struggle for control. Nose up, nose down. The relentless phugoid wave tossed the enormous jet like a toy. Every instinct screamed danger, yet the crew pushed through, searching for an impossible solution. A desperate idea emerged. Could engine power alone wrestle a wounded giant from the sky's grasp? With no rudder or elevators, asymmetric engine thrust became their only, desperate, fragile hope. A delicate dance of power. Too much, too little, and the jet would spiral into oblivion. They were attempting to fly a 370-ton jumbo jet using only its engines as control surfaces. Moments of fleeting triumph. They momentarily tamed the beast, gaining precious, fragile seconds. But the phugoid's grip was relentless. Hope was a flicker, quickly consumed by overwhelming forces. This crippled jet, once a symbol of human ingenuity, was now a testament to sheer defiance. 370 tons of metal, cargo, and human lives fighting an unequal battle against physics. Their hands became extensions of their will, interpreting every tremor, anticipating every lurch. Against all odds, they achieved a rudimentary form of control, turning the impossible into merely improbable. They fought to guide the immense machine, seeking any viable landing site within reach. The drift was irreversible. Despite their fight, gravity's ultimate triumph was drawing near. As daylight faded, so did the last vestiges of sustained hope for a miraculous recovery. The numbers were clear. Altitude was dwindling, and options were quickly vanishing from the radar. They knew their fate, yet their extraordinary commitment to duty never wavered, not for a moment. Every groan of metal, every shudder of the airframe, spoke of a battle fought with impossible courage. Landing gear was out of the question. Their only control was engine thrust, their only weapon. The landscape below became a looming threat, a cruel reminder of their inevitable trajectory. The final moments approached, but their focus remained. They fought until the very last second. Unprecedented resilience, a testament to human spirit under the most impossible, terrifying conditions. Their heroic battle, though ultimately tragic, etched their names into aviation history forever. A 32-minute struggle, a flight crew's unwavering courage against an insurmountable, deadly force. The desperate fight inside JL-123 reached its terrifying climax over the rugged Gumma Mountains. The crippled jumbo jet, now a ghost, bucked violently, battling unseen forces in its final descent. Altitude bled away relentlessly, each passing second pushing flight 123 closer to the unforgiving earth below. Below, the treacherous peaks of Gunma Prefecture loomed, an inescapable, silent monument to impending disaster. Every ounce of strength, Every fiber of hope poured into one last, impossible maneuver by the valiant crew. The crippled craft attempted a final turn, a desperate evasion, its fate sealed by a catastrophic failure. They fought for every foot, every second, against an invisible enemy and the relentless pull of gravity. Captain Takama's grip tightened, his will alone attempting to defy the laws of aerodynamics one last time. Through the cockpit window, jagged peaks rose sharply, a cruel reminder of their rapidly shrinking time. A fleeting hope, then a heart-wrenching drop, as the aircraft lost its battle against the hostile terrain. Urgent commands filled the cockpit, a symphony of desperation as they faced the inevitable. Mount Osutaka, a silent giant, waited. Its jagged slopes would become the final resting place. With its tail severely compromised, the aircraft's control became an agonizing, impossible dream. Alarms screamed a final warning, echoing the crew's grim realization of their rapidly approaching, inescapable doom. A final shudder, an agonizing groan from the airframe, as the inevitable drew terrifyingly close. A shattering roar ripped through the mountain air, then an eerie, profound silence descended upon the wreckage site. From the deep, remote ravines of Gunma, a plume of smoke silently announced the catastrophe's location. The once mighty Boeing 747 was now countless fragments, scattered across the unforgiving, rugged mountain terrain. Flames flickered ominously in the deepening twilight, a desolate beacon marking humanity's tragic defeat. Initial reports confirmed the unthinkable. JL-123 had crashed. The world held its breath in disbelief. As darkness fell, rescue teams mobilized, facing treacherous terrain and the daunting prospect of searching for survivors. Every rescuer understood the odds were stacked against them, yet they pressed on with unwavering determination. Through the impenetrable night, headlamps pierced the darkness, searching for any sign of life amidst the destruction. Helicopters circled above, their powerful spotlights illuminating nothing but the devastated, silent forest floor. Navigating treacherous slopes through jagged wreckage, hope dwindled with each agonizing, difficult step taken. Rain began to fall, extinguishing small fires, but intensifying the chilling belief that no one could have survived. Initial assessments were grim. The sheer devastation led to the heartbreaking conclusion: no survivors. As the first rays of dawn touched the mountain peaks, a new day brought a faint glimmer of renewed hope. Amidst the twisted metal, a sound, a movement, then an impossible, miraculous discovery. For precious lives, against all odds, had clung to existence within the unimaginable wreckage and chaos. Overjoyed, but with utmost care, medical teams attended to the survivors, their resilience a testament. Their miraculous survival offered a lifeline, their powerful testimonies becoming crucial for uncovering the crash's truth. These courageous voices would ultimately provide invaluable insights, helping to piece together the deadliest single aircraft disaster. The story of JL-123 is not merely about a final flight, but a tragedy forged in a hidden flaw. Its deadly chain of events began years earlier, rooted in a critical incident often overlooked. On that day, a JL-747 suffered a tail strike, a violent impact during an aborted landing. The collision caused structural damage near the crucial rear pressure bulkhead, a vital aircraft component. Boeing technicians undertook the repair, a procedure demanding absolute precision and adherence to protocols. The standard Boeing repair for such damage involved a meticulously engineered double-plate reinforcement. This critical technique ensures the damaged fuselage section could withstand immense pressure differential safely. Tragically, the technicians deviated, installing only a single, inadequately designed reinforcement plate. This single patch was improperly cut and secured with an insufficient number of rivets, a fatal error. The faulty repair created a severe stress concentration point, a hidden weakness within the aircraft structure. With every flight, the flawed bulkhead flexed under extreme pressure changes, silently propagating its failure. Microscopic cracks began to form and expand, invisible to inspection, yet relentlessly eroding structural integrity. 7 years later, this insidious weakness culminated in a catastrophic structural failure mid-flight. The rear pressure bulkhead violently ruptured, unleashing a torrent of high-pressure cabin air into the tail. This explosive decompression shattered crucial components within the aircraft's pressurized tail section. The force severed all 4 hydraulic lines, the lifeblood controlling the aircraft's flight surfaces. The entire vertical stabilizer, the aircraft's rudder, was ripped away, leaving it uncontrollable. Suddenly, the flight crew faced an impossible scenario: a massive aircraft completely stripped of control. Under unimaginable stress, Captain Takamasu and his crew began a desperate 32-minute fight for survival. Every control input was met with a terrifying lack of response. Their colossal aircraft was now a missile. The 747 entered fugoid oscillations, an uncontrolled cycle of climbing and diving, a deadly dance. With extraordinary ingenuity, the crew attempted to steer using differential engine thrust, their only remaining option. This desperate maneuver offered a glimmer of hope, demonstrating the crew's remarkable skill and resolve. But the damage was too severe. The vast mountainous terrain of Japan loomed, unforgiving and inescapable. Meanwhile, on the ground, a different kind of failure was unfolding, adding to the tragedy. Initial air traffic control responses were hampered by confusion, miscommunication, and critical delays. The Japanese and U.S. militaries offered assistance, yet miscommunication and jurisdictional disputes caused delays. A critical misstep: the initial predicted crash location was incorrect, diverting precious search resources. Rescue efforts were agonizingly slow as night fell, shrouding the vast, unforgiving terrain. This delay sparked national controversy, fueling public anger and questions about preparedness. When rescuers finally reached the site the next morning, a scene of utter devastation awaited them. The initial missteps on the ground proved agonizingly costly, diminishing precious minutes for survivors. The investigation swiftly turned to the aircraft's maintenance history, uncovering the root cause. The flawed Boeing repair, a hidden time bomb, ultimately sealed the fate of JL Flight 123. This tragedy stands as a grim reminder of how human error, compounded, can lead to catastrophic consequences. The tragedy of JL 123 left an indelible mark on aviation. Its profound legacy reshaped global safety protocols forever. Structural repair standards were fundamentally re-evaluated and reinforced. Every aircraft part now endures rigorous scrutiny. Advanced maintenance tracking systems emerged, meticulously logging every detail. No component would ever again go unnoticed. Intense research into hydraulic redundancy became paramount. Modern aircraft feature multiple, independent systems for critical control. Crew resource management saw significant enhancement. Communication, decision-making, and teamwork became foundational pillars of flight. Disaster response protocols were dramatically improved. Speed and coordination are now critical in preventing further catastrophe. From unimaginable horror, invaluable lessons were painfully extracted. Aviation's path forward was forged through sorrow. We remember the 520 souls lost on JL 123. Their memory fuels our unwavering commitment to safety. Amidst the terror, incredible bravery emerged. The crew's valiant fight for life remains a powerful testament. Today, every flight is undeniably safer. The painful lessons of JL 123 ensure a brighter, more secure future.